Welcome to Everyday Life Quotes channel, where the topic of today's wonderful day is the end of Egypt. Maybe not such a wonderful day anymore, huh? Nah, still must be. Now kick back, take some popcorns and enjoy in this video.
Let's go!
The story begins where Persian Empire, led by Cyrus and his successors, wanted to achieve political and military goals. Cyrus the Great had already conquered a vast territory, including the Neo-Babylonian Empire, and his son Cambyses II wanted to further expand the empire's influence. Yeah, you can guess where it's going. Oh yeah, of course, to Egypt. The Egyptian pharaoh at the time was Psamtik III, who ruled as the last pharaoh of the 26th dynasty. Egypt was weakened internally and faced external threats from the Persian Empire. In 525 BCE, Cambyses II led a Persian army into Egypt. A big game-changing battle went down at Pelusium. This meant bye-bye Egypt. The Persian forces, which included skilled archers and the use of camels, managed to defeat the Egyptian army. After the big battle, Cambyses II swooped in and grabbed Memphis, Egypt's capital, and Psamtik III got captured, just like the photo on your phone. The Persian Empire now controlled Egypt, marking the end of the 26th dynasty. Cambyses II declared himself the ruler of Egypt. They kept going, making sure Persia stayed in charge of the area. As every ruler, Cambyses' rule in Egypt was not without challenges. Some Egyptians didn't like the new ruler and resisted. Cambyses had a tough time fitting the varied Egyptian society into the Persian way of running things. After a few years, Cambyses faced revolts in other parts of the empire, and he eventually died under mysterious circumstances in 522 BCE. He'd be blessed if he died by natural causes. After Cambyses died, Egypt went through more political chaos. There was a short time when Egypt was on its own with a local leader before the Persians took charge again. Hey, the Persian conquest of Egypt was just a beginning of a long game. Wait until famous Alexander the Great comes in and conquers Egypt in 332 BCE. Make sure by now that you're subscribed and that your popcorns are tasty as this video. Let's go! So, yeah, Alexander the Great's conquest of Egypt took place between 332 and 331 BCE. Alexander's conquest of Egypt played a big role in his overall takeover of the Persian Empire. When Alexander arrived in Egypt, the country was still under Persian rule, and the Persian governor at the time was Mzatzes. His name sounds somewhat Italian, like lasagna. Damn, now I'm hungry. Just to give me a second to get a food. Now it's better. Where we were. Okay. Upon entering Egypt, Alexander was welcomed by the Egyptians as someone who freed people from Persian rule. The city of Pelusium, let's call it one of the Persian capitals in the region, surrendered to Alexander without a fight. So his entering in Egypt was somewhat of a hello to you old neighbor Susie when you see her on the street. The people who lived in Memphis, another major city, also embraced Alexander, and he was crowned as pharaoh in the ancient Egyptian capital. One of the most famous episodes during Alexander's time in Egypt was that he founded the city of Alexandria. According to historical accounts, Alexander chose the location for the city after getting advice from the Ammon oracle in the Siwa oasis. The oracle, according to legend, confirmed that Alexander was believed to have a divine parent and declared him the legitimate ruler of Egypt. Alexandria would go on to become a major cultural and economic center in the ancient world. So let's cover it up. Alexander is believed that he was the son of Zeus, and Egyptians liked him, and if not, they loved him. Once Alexander got things in order in Egypt, he kept on with his military campaigns, leaving Cleomenes as the ruler of Egypt. Alexander's conquests had a lasting impact on Egypt, introducing Hellenistic culture and influencing the course of Egyptian history for centuries to come. The Ptolemaic dynasty, established by one of Alexander's generals, Ptolemy, would go on to rule Egypt for several centuries, until the arrival of the well-known Roman Empire. The things are now getting cooked up, because you know how it was during the Roman Empire. But if you don't, then you'll learn. But first, prepare a lemonade. In 30 BCE, the Romans took over Egypt, settling the final showdown between Cleopatra of Egypt and Octavian, later known as Augustus, the first Roman emperor. Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, formed relationships with strong Roman leaders. But not any kind of relationships. Talking about romantic relationships here. Here you go, a recipe to disaster. She was first with Julius Caesar, and then later with Mark Antony. After Caesar was killed, Cleopatra joined forces with Mark Antony in the power struggle against Octavian, Caesar's great-nephew. The conflict between Octavian and Antony eventually led to the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, a naval engagement off the coast of Greece. Octavian won a big victory at the Battle of Actium, causing Antony and Cleopatra to run away to Egypt. Recognizing that Octavian's position was unsafe, Antony took his own life in 30 BCE. Cleopatra, facing capture by Octavian, also committed suicide, traditionally said to have been by snakebite. You can run, but you can't hide. Following the deaths of Antony and Cleopatra, Egypt came under Roman control. Octavian became the undisputed ruler of the Roman Republic and later established the Roman Empire, taking the new name Augustus. Egypt, with its rich resources and strategic importance, became very good province of the Roman Empire. If you thought this was an end, you got it damn wrong. The separation of the Roman Empire in 395 AD marked the beginning of the Byzantine Empire in the Eastern Mediterranean. Egypt became a part of the Byzantine Empire, and its fate was closely tied to the political and military developments in the region. During the Byzantine period in Egypt, there were religious conflicts, especially regarding beliefs about Christ's nature. The Council of Chalcedon in 451, which said Christ had two distinct natures, caused disagreements among Christian communities. This eventually led to the formation of the Coptic Orthodox Church. It would have been better for them if they cooperated instead of killing each other. But yeah, it's human nature. Do you drink those lemonades? The Islamic conquest of Egypt took place in 641 CE during the early years of the Arab-Muslim expansion. This conquest was part of the larger Arab-Muslim conquests that followed the death of the Prophet Muhammad in 632 CE. The Byzantine Empire had control over Egypt at that time, and the Arab forces, led by the general Amr ibn al-As, were able to successfully conquer the region. The final and most important battle in the Islamic conquest of Egypt happened close to Heliopolis, a city located northeast of present-day Cairo. The Muslim forces, numbering around 12,000, faced the Byzantine army. The battle resulted in a big victory for the Muslims. After the Battle of Heliopolis, the Arab forces started going to Alexandria, one of the key cities in Egypt. The city surrendered to the Muslims in 642 CE, marking the completion of the conquest. Generally, the Muslim conquerors treated the non-Muslim population with tolerance in accordance with Islamic principles. People of different religious backgrounds were allowed to practice their faith, and a system of taxation known as jizya was implemented on non-Muslims. The conquest of Egypt played a crucial role in the spread of Islam in the region. Over time, the majority of the population converted to Islam. They must have treated them well. After the Islamic conquest, Egypt joined the growing Islamic Caliphate. The way things were run changed as they introduced Islamic ways of governing and legal systems. And there you have it, how ancient Egypt and almost my throat came to an end. Suggest the next content idea, and we will warmly take it into consideration. Until the next time, goodbye by Everyday Life Quotes. Wait, if you still have those popcorns, you can check some of our other videos.